I found this little guy in the pump house. I guess I didn't close the door all the way and
Spencer!
I went to go in. I'm like, crap, I left it cracked open because that's how we got a mouse in there that one time. And yeah, this guy was in there. So that's why I need to mow and keep that door closed. And I think we need to put a pin on the bottom of that door because it doesn't.
It pops open.
Yeah, it doesn't seal all the way. So I'm gonna go drop him down by that little washout.
Yeah, it's definitely time to mow. Today we are just continuing to work on the flooring and working our way into the kitchen, which is good because I think in about a week now we have all of our appliances arriving. So this way, whenever we get our fridge and everything, we'll actually be able to install it, which just sounds nuts. Like, we have been working towards this moment for so long and envisioning this. So to finally be at this step is huge. And I cannot imagine cooking in here, you guys. I'm very grateful for my barn kitchen, but I'm ready to never use it again. Life is about to be very different. You're looking good.
Thank you. I don't look like I've been doing floors all day.
Your hair looks crazy.
So I've ran into the mistake of putting in the trim before the floors, and it makes life a million times worse. So I had to rip out most of the trim so far. Some of it I've been able to skate around, but trim, don't do it before it.
Well, now you know.
Alright, so as you can see, our bathroom tub, since it's a fiberglass tub, isn't perfectly straight. So what I have to do is kind of figure out a way to scribe the tub line. I think I came up with a solution. I just taped a pin to a piece of wood, and I'm gonna set this piece of cardboard that's cut to the length of the tub and just run down the tub, and this should give me my bow of the tub, and then I can just measure the distance from the tub to the edge of the flooring, so then I can have the
perfect cut.
Yeah, have the perfect cut. All right, so last night I started on this living room. I'm going to do this. It shouldn't take that long, but I need to put a reducer down for this doorway. The reason why we have a reducer at all is because when we designed this little addition, obviously this was after the rest of the house was built, we didn't really know what to do with the floor where it meets the container. We didn't want some trim or anything like that to go there because it would have looked a little funny. I wanted to tuck it up under the shipping container is what I'm trying to say, and I just felt like that would look the best. So that's why it's slightly lower than the rest of the other flooring. So that requires me to install this reducer. The only thing I'm worried about with this reducer is because it's a high traffic area, and I'm just a little terrified that it's going to constantly be kicked, and then obviously these floor manufacturers anticipate all of that to be walked on, so so I guess we'll see how it goes.
I was a wide-eyed soul, searching high and low, when I found you on that day. Then the answer was clear. Winds drift others away, but we will always be near.
The next day, we needed to take care of some maintenance on our rainwater catchment system. Being off-grid, we capture all of our own rainwater off of our roof. The water is then gravity fed over to our storage tanks where we can house 7,500 gallons of rainwater. This water is then filtered multiple times at our pump house and then pumped back to our home to provide us with water. It was a bit of a pain getting the tanks into place. But besides that, it's a pretty low maintenance system, and the time has come to clean the tanks. We have leaf feeders and first flushes, but fine particles like pollen can still sometimes get through. We attempted to clean the tanks a couple of weeks back using a pressure-driven pool vacuum, hoping to not lose any rainwater, but that did not work. It just kicked up all the debris and Spencer couldn't see anything, kind of making it difficult to clean. And that brings us to today, where he decided to try a different method.
All right, so I'm going to try attempting cleaning these tanks again. I got a different pool vacuum this time. It's more of a scrubber slash siphon. Well, actually, it's supposed to be hooked up to a normal traditional pool pump, but what I'm going to be doing is just siphoning the water out. And since I'm siphoning the water out, it just kind of has to dump onto the ground. So it is technically going to be losing some water, but cleaning the tanks is more important than the little bit of water we'll lose. So, and how I'm going to create a siphon is I'm just going to use my shop vac, try to get it to siphon out, and then toss it on the ground once the siphon begins. Well, Ken's is going to do all of this. I'm going to be up on the ladder, ready to vacuum.
Both cleaning up the spider webs. Yeah.
Okay, so that actually worked out better than I expected. As far as the tanks go, this first tank where the rainwater comes in and dumps in, this is going to be where most of my sediment is going to fall to the bottom, as long as it doesn't raise above the pipeline towards the bottom. And I mean, there will still be some pollen and debris that make it into the other tanks, but for the most part, any debris that does make it into the tanks, it'll capture into this tank. So that's the one tank I'm going to focus on cleaning. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I couldn't see the bottom before, so I didn't know how bad it was, but it was just, it's just all, majority of anything that's in there, any of the sediment that's in there is just really fine pollen. that happens to make it past the first flush, or the rain screen in the first flush. So really wasn't that bad. It would take a lot of pollen to get up past the pipeline to make it into the other tanks. Granted, floating pollen can still make it in, but so I can actually see the bottom, the plastic bottom again. And I mean, I still got some pollen that's on the sides. I'm not too worried about it. Any pollen that makes it, that gets pumped out of the tanks, gets filtered through several filters. So yeah, it's not an issue at all. Also, to help with any of the pollen, I'm going to actually take some of these pool socks and put it on the inside outlet of this pipe and just use a stainless steel clamp to hold it in place. But this should be able to catch most of the pollen. Moving forward, I just have to clean this out every few months or so. After I put this sock on, I'm going to go inside and actually change out the first filter before the charcoal filter. That's supposed to be changed every 6 months, so it's roughly right around 6 months right now. So I'll change that out and then clean out the filter right before the pump itself. That's just a screen mesh filter. But other than that, system's working beautifully, and rainwater tastes great. So there's that screen, metal mesh screen filter that I was talking about. Much better. Almost forgot to turn this off. We had a lot of water coming out. I'm afraid to break the little tool here. I have 2 tools. Finally broke loose. I need to fire the last guy that tightened this. Look at all that pollen. That's all that is. There's nothing else in there, just pollen. And last but not least is to go to the furthest part of the house, or furthest thing down on our water line in the house, and let it run so we can get any air bubbles or anything like that out. Try to do this one-handed. Wait for it. There we go. There we go. Alright, I think that should be it. There might be a few more air pockets or air bubbles, but it's going to be very little, so there we are, and our water system is back up and running.
Is that a satellite or is that a shooting star? I think I'd prefer the latter. Oh, because wishes don't come true unless they're shooting straight for you from 1,000 miles away. Well, if it was, I wouldn't have much to say. I need a new guitar and a car that goes far so I can drive away.
So Spencer just got done with all of the flooring in the dining room and it looks amazing. Very happy with it. We still have the 2 kids' rooms to do. As far as the flooring goes, that's all that's left. He still has both the kids' rooms to do for flooring, but what we're gonna do, because we need to get these boxes moved back over here, and just so we can eliminate a couple of them, what we're going to do is start installing our bathroom vanities. Finally. Hopefully tonight, I'll be able to brush my teeth in this house for the first time. Yes. Okay, you're supposed to be being quiet.
I think he's hungry.
I thought for sure you were gonna need like a knife or something. Well, I guess there's no returning it. So are we gonna have to wear gloves every time we touch this counter?
Mm-hmm. Not wash your hands unless you're wearing gloves.
Look at that counter space. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And you know, I know what some of you are thinking. That's not a lot of counter space. But you know what? When you haven't had any counter space for over 3 years, that's a lot of counter space. I just said counter space a lot. Okay, this is looking real sharp.
I feel like this...
It's really close.
Yeah.
Why is it so close together?
I feel like that's probably meant for a one that's
bigger?
One single piece.
Well, why does something always go wrong? We got these so long ago. So last night didn't go quite as planned. We were hoping to actually work on getting a sink all hooked up, but we accidentally bought the wrong faucet. We bought a wide set and our countertops require a center set. So we got that all ordered and it should be here soon. But in the meantime, it's nice that we can at least get the vanities in the bathrooms, clearing that space up out there in the center section, and just, you know, it's nice seeing everything start to fall into place. It may not all be up and running, but it looks good.
So worried about what other people think. Stop standing on your own 2 feet. Spend time in the rearview mirror. The road ahead won't get any clearer. So close your eyes, throw up your head, dance to the rhythm and sing out loud. Get lost in the crowd.
So what do you think?
I like how I can actually see myself now. Can't tell you how many houses and whatnot I've been in where I'm like, gotta duck down. So it's pretty nice.
I love it. You gonna need my help?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sweetie.